This is a carbohydrate. This is also a carbohydrate. These are carbohydrates, and even these are carbohydrates. He is not a carbohydrate.
Welcome to Health Food Hacks. My name is Ed and I'm a personal trainer and nutritionist specializing in athletic performance and weight management. And today's video is all about understanding carbohydrates and how to manipulate carbs to achieve your fitness and lifestyle goals. Carbs these days are sometimes seen as bad, but they are in fact a vital nutrient, and I will show you how to calculate your carbohydrate needs and reveal why so many people get it wrong when it comes to how much carbohydrates to consume. So now what I've done is I've laid out all of these carbohydrates in terms of their GI index. GI index stands for Glycemic Index. Glycemic Index is how quickly a food will raise your blood glucose after consuming it. So these are all high GI carbs, and it gets lower and lower as we go down. So here we obviously have flour, number one, at the top end of GI scale or GI index. Flour is basically just a fully refined carbohydrate. It's been processed, all the fibre has been removed. That means it's got almost no vitamins and minerals, and therefore it will spike your glucose quickly. It's basically the same as pure sugar, this. Watermelon is an interesting one. It's very high on the GI scale or the GI index, but because it has fibre, it has vitamins and minerals, it's mainly water, and the carbohydrate load is lower, so it's actually got less carbohydrates in total, which means that it's almost a safe high GI carbohydrate. But watermelon is a natural simple carbohydrate, so it's a fruit and it contains fructose. Next on the list, these are also refined carbohydrates. These are high GI, therefore they will spike your blood sugar quite a lot. This is because the fibre and vitamins and minerals, the germ, etc., the outer husks of the rice and the wheat have been removed, so they will spike your insulin and your blood glucose levels quite a lot. Next down on the list we have the pineapple. So pineapple is a natural simple carb, contains fructose and glucose, but it also contains vitamins and minerals and lots of fibre. So the sugar, the carbohydrates is bound within the fibre, so it's a slower release. Further down on the GI index, we have bananas, whole grain penne, then we have sweet potatoes and the dragon fruit. So these are all complex / starchy carbs, more fibre, less processing, which means it's a slower release carbohydrate. Bananas contain also good things like potassium, and these complex / starchy carbs, they have lots of fibre, they have lots of vitamins and minerals. For example, sweet potato has lots of vitamin A and other great goodies, and dragon fruit also contains lots of vitamins and minerals as well. So these carbohydrates are lower on the GI index. That means they will raise your blood sugar levels slowly. So let's break down carbohydrates, what they are, how they work, and how to figure out how much you need. Carbohydrates are plant-based compounds made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. They're categorized by structure, which affects how your body processes them, and there are three main types: simple carbs, complex carbs, and non-starch polysaccharides, or NSPs for short, also known as fiber. Simple carbs are sugars like glucose, fructose, lactose, and those found in pastries and cakes and honey. They're quickly digested and absorbed, and therefore high on the glycemic index. Complex carbs include starches like brown rice, oats, lentils, and whole grain pasta. These take longer to digest, giving you more sustained energy throughout the day, and are therefore moderate on the glycemic index. Fibre, found in fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, seeds, and the brown parts of whole grains, has minimal calories because we don't fully digest it. You'll also notice that some complex carbs could also fall under the NSPs category. In general, aim for low GI carbs for steady energy throughout the day, and after intense exercise, high GI carbs help quickly refill glycogen stores in your muscles. Your muscles can store up to 300 to 500 grams of glycogen, but this does get depleted after exercise, especially intense exercise. All digestible carbs provide around 4 calories per gram, but calorie content can vary by food, especially depending on whether it's cooked or dry. And now this is where it does get confusing and people often get tripped up with the measurements here. So for example, 200 grams of cooked rice contains far more water and fewer calories than 200 grams of dry rice. So checking the food labels, Googling it, and using any sort of tracking apps, fitness tracking apps, can help you figure out how much carbohydrates are actually in a food. But if you can't be bothered for that, here are some common food examples and how much pure carbs they have per 100 grams of the food. So feel free to pause, take a photo, or make some notes here for your future reference. So how much do you actually need? It depends entirely on your activity level. Light exercise like walking, jogging a few times a week, 3 to 5 grams of carbs per kilogram of body weight is enough. For moderate training, up to 1 hour, several times a week, 5 to 7 grams of carbs per kilogram of body weight is appropriate. For high intensity training, so over an hour, most days, you'll need around 7 to 12 grams of carbs per kilogram of body weight, and for elite athletes or very intense training, up to 10 to 12 grams of carbs per kilogram of body weight, but this is definitely the upper end. For example, if you weighed 70 kilos and train regularly, you need around 350 to 490 grams of carbs per day. If you're trying to lose fat while maintaining muscle, you'd create a calorie deficit, cutting out 200 to 250 calories per day. That's roughly 50 to 65 grams of carbs. That's a good place to start. We don't want to take out too much carbs and too many calories and therefore burn up muscle too, because that will ruin your metabolism. So a 200 to 250 calorie deficit is appropriate, and if you want to gain weight, gain muscle, then adding about 200 to 300, maybe even 400 calories extra on top of your daily diet will be a good way to gain muscle. Fibre is a type of carbohydrate, but unlike sugars and starches, it passes through your gut mostly intact. There are two main types: soluble fibre, which dissolves in water and helps lower blood sugar and cholesterol, and insoluble fibre, which doesn't get broken down and acts like a rough sponge that cleans your intestines but also exercises the muscles involved in digestion. A high fibre diet has been linked to a reduced risk of gut conditions like diverticulosis and colorectal cancer. But here's the crucial part: your gut bacteria love fibre. It acts as a prebiotic food for the good bacteria in your gut, helping them thrive and produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. These compounds reduce inflammation, support immunity, and even improve brain health. Fibre also slows down how fast sugar enters your bloodstream, helping you feel full for longer and keeping energy levels steady. Great sources of fibre include fruits, veggies, legumes, nuts and seeds, and whole grains. Most people don't get nearly enough fibre, so aiming for at least 25 to 30, but more like 35 to 40 grams per day ideally, will keep you healthy. Fibre doesn't just keep things moving, it supports your whole system from inside out, so don't skip it, feed your gut, fuel your health. And that wraps up today's video. I hope you gained some knowledge and some understanding. Please do subscribe for more videos on how to hack your health with nutrition, and we'll see you on the next video.